So, this is the next topic. It's Iroha, right? So, when this character was announced, there was a huge outrage from a few people in the community. The rest of the males were quite happy with this, with some exceptions. And I had concerns. And I think, like a lot of the guys, we were a bit concerned because we heard that Iroha was a maid. That's not a problem. She shows a lot of skin. That's not really a problem. But it was the way that she was presented in the SNK wiki, because she was fully intended, from what the description was, fully intended to please the male audience, aka young horny boys, and she was completely subservient, as in, you know, kind of worshipping the player who's the user, right? Which is fine. You're a young horny guy, or somebody who likes maids or whatever, and you're playing the game with 2 joysticks. That's fine. It's not a problem. You don't go out and hurt any people. You know, you don't force people to be your maid and lock them in a cage. Everything's fine. Absolutely fine. No problem with that. Okay? You just whatever. Do what you want at home. The problem with this, and the problem with, frankly, the problem with this and every other scantily clad woman that you see on a video game is that as a decent guy, I can't be playing this game in front of women. It's just no, because it just looks bad, right? But you know, I can't like be proud of doing that. I'm a bit too old for that now, right? So it's like but right, again, having conversations with people on the internet, right? And yeah, and the creepy part, you know, the part about being like, you know, worshipping the player and like, yes, my lord, and I'll do this for you, my lord. That was creepy beyond belief. I mean, in public, you just like, you can't be doing that, right? Today, you can't be doing that today, right? You know, back in the day when it was normal, or you know, when it was normal to have a slave and have them worship the floor that you walked on. Okay, fine. But today, to be playing that in a video game, I can't like broadcast this over the world and say, hey, this is the video game I'm playing, right? And yeah, if you've got kids, if you've got a wife, if you've got kids, that's right, Hassan. It's like, yeah, this is fine. It's totally normal, right? Yeah. But with, again, nice conversations and ignoring the people who are trying to flame me. I'm kind of proud. I got called a retard SJW. I was like, okay, I'm going up in the scene now, right? Right? Because we're talking about all this stuff. And yeah, I'm going to come back to mine in a second, right? Because it's funny because let me just one part at a time, right? So talking about Iroha on Twitter and stuff, people were saying like, yeah, blah blah blah, and I got some good points because, okay, first of all, I think a lot of people don't really know the story. The story is based on a Japanese folk tale called The Crane Wife, and it's another tale, and it in Japanese exactly, but it's actually, and there's a lot of variations. It's spread around the world actually, but the idea is a crane is found in a hunter's trap, and a guy rescues the crane, and then the next day a woman appears and says, "I'm your wife," and he's like, oh, "Okay." Yeah, he's a poor guy, by the way, as well. And then so the woman is his wife, and everything is cool, and she's cooking for him and cleaning for him. Yeah, okay. And basically, she's fantastic, amazing, traditional wife. Fantastic, wonderful. And she says to him, I'm going to go do something occasionally, and don't look while I'm doing that thing, right? So I think she's doing this every day. I think whatever, something. She's doing something secret somewhere. So one day he goes and looks at what she's doing, and he sees that she's a crane. And then she says, right, okay, now that you know, I have to leave. And that's the end of the story. And it's kind of sad, right? And there's more like really kind of like really wild out there variations of this. It's like sometimes like it's a different animal, it's a fox, it's a snake, and like they have a kid, and then there's some just Google it yourself. There's some really really crazy variations out there. But the point is, the story is it's not even a happy ending, right? And Iroha is meant to be based on that, and that's actually what you see in, if you played Samurai Shodown 6, that's actually what you see in one of her like special moves. She hides behind a screen, and then you see, and she says, "Please don't look inside," and she turns into a crane and smacks the crap out of the opponent. So with that storyline, it kind of makes it better because, well, wait, what was my point? Wait, she's a crane. She's in, well, let's say she's in love with the Lord, your poor guy, whatever, and she treats him like God, and it's a repayment of a favor. So it's kind of forgivable. It's not like direct, purchase of another human being. It's a kind of, yeah, it's a return of a favor, right? So so yeah, so it's like, okay, so if you're horny for Iroha, you like birds, and you should go to prison for zoophilia, exactly as Revocus is saying. Secondly, she's not like, oh yeah, and another thing, in the gameplay itself, she doesn't like worship you as such. She doesn't like say, your master, here's your dinner, master, let me rub your shoulders, master. She doesn't do that. She actually has a kind of personality, and she's kind of funny, or something and something and something. So she's not so bad, I think. Melody, are you still there? I'd love to hear what you think about this. So just, before we get some more opinions on this, I think she's not as bad as we think she is. And I think it's not going to be so much worship of the player in a kind of really creepy way. However, the costume is still a bit too much skin, I think, for modern games. But saying that, we've got Mortal Kombat, people are killing each other, ripping each other's heads off, and I'm like, and then of course now we go back to Mai, right? And that was the thing about Mai. Mai's got a bit of skin out there. I think a lot of the arguments about Mai, Iroha, you could apply to Mai. But the reason why Mai gets away with it is because she is a strong female character. She flaunts her sexuality, but she doesn't like, she's not, well, maybe once or twice, but generally she's not being like slutty. She's not. She's actually setting people on fire. I hope I'm not getting this wrong, but from what I remember, she's just pretty cool. Now Iroha, I think as well, from what I understand, and I haven't examined every single time, every move that she does, but she doesn't actually like, she's not actually, I hope from what I understand, she's not slutty on the screen. Okay, so the costume is revealing, yes, but she doesn't act sexually. And of course, she's got two big weapons, and she's going to cut the crap and chop the crap out of opponents. So it might not be a big fuss in the end. It may not be. But I do think the SNK has to be careful with the wording of the story, because I still think, I mean, it might be a bit too much, but having Iroha's, being very subservient, or very, just basically being a carpet to the male player might annoy the female audience. And here is the thing, as I was saying, if you're, just a guy at home with your game, whatever, who cares, right? As long as you don't hurt anyone, absolutely who cares what you're doing with this game, with Dead or Alive, with Mortal Kombat, with whatever, Call of Duty, shooting people with a machine gun, who cares? It's not a problem. But SNK knows, and SNK is well aware, they want to expand their audience to women, right? And kids and whatever, and everyone. They want to expand. They want to have everyone playing that Samurai Shodown. And they already said, they're like, I don't think Iroha's a really good choice, actually. I'm not really sure that's going to fit. But the fans voted for her. And horny that they might be, the customer is, well, if not always right, the customer has the cash. So that is what is going to prop up SNK for a while. So it's going to be, you know, pretty hard decision for them. It's like, well, make money or be, you know, morally, ethically sound. They could still do both. I think they could cover up a bit more. But then, you know, yeah, making fans happy, etc. Making fans angry is even worse. And, you know, if you remember what happened, well, apparently what happened with Dead or Alive, when they tried to cover up all the characters with the default skin, did it make a difference to sales? I'm not sure, you know, but there was quite a backlash with that. So maybe they're following that lead. And yeah, Crispy Kaiser. Yeah, well done, Crispy Kaiser. So, you know, if SNK gets burnt now, well done for admitting, or not admitting, for telling everyone that you pressed for Iroha with such strength. Yeah, but yeah, I think it's yeah, it's going to be tricky. It's going to. Let's just say, you know, I think Iroha's okay, but she's problematic. She's problematic. A maid is a bit corny, right? And even I mean, she's a bit outdated, to be fair. But you know, she's kind of classic now. I think everyone just accepts that it's done. But Iroha is a bit problematic. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Let's hope. It should be. I think with, you know, with the right kind of presentation, and as long as she's not totally, you know, slutty on screen, I think it'll be okay. If SNK wants to sell the slutty version as a DLC, another DLC, I'm sure they'll make millions. It'll be fine. But yeah, hey, the brother man, welcome to the stream. And yeah, no PC version, but it is coming, right? It is coming. It's definitely coming. Now, you know, come on, let's. No, it's not. I'm not defending SNK. It's just plain. It's just plain business sense, right? Google says, hey, you got a good game there. How about you put it on Stadia? Here's some money. You're going to make millions. Or maybe it was the other way around. I don't know. But Stadia was out. And, well, yeah, I don't know if anyone's still playing with that thing. But, you know, they didn't have all the development time in the world, so they put it on Stadia, and now they're going back to working on the Switch one, and now they're working on the PC one. They'll finish the PC one, and then hey, it'll be out there. Now, as for Iroha being bisexual, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. You know what? Right? This is one of the things I would have suggested to SNK. It's like, instead of saying my lord, just say master, right? If she's still going to do that, kind of, you know, grateful to, you know, the person who rescued her, then she could, you know, and make it though that she fell in love with this person. Then if she just says master and doesn't refer to any him or her or whatever, then it will fit and it will make everyone happy. They've all got their own personal love slave and everything's good. So yeah, as you were saying, Hassan, it's you know, that would work. Yeah, and Mina, again, Mina, yeah, she's wearing a bra and strings with a cloth. Yeah, it's kind of funny looking. Yeah, I think the last thing I'm going to say about, oh, it looks like Melody's disappeared. But the last thing I'm going to say about Mina is that it's funny looking at Twitter, because I've got, you know, I see a lot of artwork, and I see a lot more artwork of Mina, and for some reason, right, Mina is completely sexualized in a lot of this artwork, but in the game she's not. It's just the duality of mankind, humankind, whatever. It's like you know, you sexualize one character, people are like, yeah, well, slut, yeah, we don't really care. But you put on a nice character, people go, right, it's time to completely pervert this person and put them in sexual poses that they're not normally going to do. So, you know, whatever. So that's it. That's it for the Iroha rant. So yeah, I hope she turns out to be okay and everyone doesn't start screaming. And I mean, you know, it's the same thing with SNK heroines. Broken record. There is a storyline behind this, but knee-jerk reactions. They see a creepy camera and they start thinking everyone who plays it is an absolute pervert. It's only half true. Yeah.